This is another Japanese specific model for 2019. This one's kind of my favorite. This thing's really fun. Had a lot of fun doing this. My personal experience with Japan in the last decade is we go to Tokyo and you enjoy the parties and the nightlife, and we surf some pretty good waves in Chiba. And then sometimes you go to Shonan, and Shonan is like miles and miles of soft, mushy waves with hundreds and hundreds of people surfing. Always crowded on the weekends, people everywhere, longboards, fun boards, people trying to ride shortboards. And the wave is very, very soft and very slow. And I just thought, man, we need a board just for that wave. A board that glides and S-turns and rides almost nothing, almost like a foil board that just kind of zigzags all the way back to the beach. Even if there's other people on the wave, if you have to go around kids and longboards flying, and I'm talking like knee-high waves, right? Like mushy. So we came up with this board, and it's specifically called the LOST Surfboards by Mayhem Shonan Warrior. And this is the Shonan Warrior, specifically designed for knee-high, mushy Japanese surf. Whether you're a 60-year-old man or a 6-year-old boy or girl learning, or a 25-year-old great surfer, anybody can have fun on this in 1 foot mush. The board is a derivative of our model, the beanbag. And the beanbag, this is the nose and rocker of a beanbag. Round nose, really low entry, little bit of flip so it doesn't catch, and outline based off the beanbag, which is very straight through the middle, like a bean. But for the Shonan Warrior, we changed it. The beanbag had a round tail that almost looked like the nose. But for this one, we wanted a squash tail for even more lift and more of a little bit of an angle on the turn, so you could like kink a quick angle on the turn. We added the big, deep, fluted wing to take some area out from under your back foot for more control. As long as you're standing behind the wing, you can control the board very well. It's built really light because we use a thin stringer, 1 layer of strong S-glass on the deck to keep it light. So even the tinted boards are light, so you can move them up and down, and they don't feel too like, off the bottom. So one of the magic things about this board to really kind of get it on top of the water and planing is we combine a nose to tail slight V, which is deepest under the back foot, and a double concave to shoot the water through. But I'll show you the secret feature on this board. And here it is. The Shonan Warrior has a beveled double concave, and we call it a hull. In the 80s, I learned this bottom from a very good friend of mine named Jim Fuller, who was one of the earliest teachers of my shaping. And he was doing big, thick, late 80s style twin fins and quads for grown men who are my age now, like big 200-pound men, and they were riding super thick boards with no single concave, and he was cutting this double concave beveled rail through the bottom curve, and it sets the board up on top of the water, but at the same time it kind of makes it slippery and loose and free, and it slides up and down a mushy face, like kind of really free. Sometimes a big single concave, if you put a single concave on a wide, thick board with flat rocker, it's going to catch. It's on the water, but it's like kick, 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 and it kind of catches, and maybe it won't lean over, and it doesn't just slide. So this board with this bottom, it kind of elevates you on the water, but at the same time, it's still like a ball bearing. It's really slippery and free-flowing. I don't really use it except in extremely wide boards for extremely small waves, and it's got a really cool thing. If you look at it across the bottom, you can see the V in the tail under your back foot, and then there's a double concave going through the V. So when your back foot's here, you can really control it and push it toe to heel, put it up on a rail, do quick turns, control your speed, Now here you see the double concave with the bevels out on the perimeter. And in the nose, there's a little bit of flat to glide and stay on top of the water. And then as you come through the center of the rocker, we cut the double concave and we bevel the rails to loosen it up. For me, if I'm in the summertime in Japan and I'm looking at knee-high waves every day on the weekends with crowds, this thing right here is the board I'm going to ride. This is the Shonan Warrior, Lost Surfboards by Mayhem for Japan.